Welcome, and today I'll be telling you about the history of haunt sliding. Sliding was invented as a new scare tactic for actors on the streets, and it was invented by a dude named Todd Stubler. Yeah, this guy. This new scare tactic called sliding started in Knott's Berry Farms during their Halloween season called Knott's Scary Farms in the late 80s. Now I'm going to show you how to do a basic slide. Start by running at your target. Softly land on your knees and glide to a stop. This is a clicker glove, or a sliding glove. And let's go out to the porch and show you how it works. Sliding didn't start out with metal fingers, knee pads, and steel toes. It started out with duct tape wrapped around hard, heavy-working gloves in which they slapped it on the ground. And due to this, the heat caused the duct tape to become like a plastic layer, which then caused more loud sounds. Slide actors needed a way of scaring, as of right now duct tape was not the thing. So they took these aluminum bean cans, bending them in a way where they held them like little grappling hooks and scraping them on the ground. These were quite literally called slider cans. According to Todd Stubler, yeah, this guy. During the 80s, it was really hard to find the right knee pads since skateboarding and skate parks were really popular in the early 70s. And since Tony Hawk came back in the later 90s, it was really easy to find these knee pads now. After all this, Knott's Berry Farms was a hit. And let's just say others took advantage of this, like Scarowinds, Six Flags, Fright Fest, and including Hershey Park in Pennsylvania. People even used objects whenever they were sliding, as a minor character from Knott's Berry Farms uses a gold pan, and a character from Mad World, also known as Pumpkin Spice, uses a shovel. Since there are plenty of actors at Knott's Scary Farms, my aunt, who lives in California, is one of them, so let's go talk with her to see how that's like. So, and it's, how did you first get into scare acting at Knott's Berry Farms?
So, when I was in college, I worked there as a ride operator, and Sam was like a year and a half old, and I was like, oh, I need a little part-time job, something to do, you know. Normally, like 5 to 6 week commitment. So, I started back in 1991, and I worked in the maze. I worked line control, which is, you know, the flow of traffic of the guests in line. And then I worked as a blackout, which is kind of like a safety person inside the mazes.
Okay.
And then I started to become a monster, and that was about 1998. Back in those days, you had to work in the mazes for a couple of years before you could go on streets. And then a few years after that, I auditioned for Streets and made it. My first experience in Streets was in Ghost Town.
That's like the most popular I've heard.
It is, yeah, so I was really lucky. So I was there for 2 years, and that was 2012 and 2013, and I was a character and it was kind of a person, it's called the Venetians, and we represented each scare zone, and I was the female that represented Ghost Town. But I also got to scare the whole night, so I ran around and had a good time. And then I went into different scare zones after that. I went into Carnival with the clowns for 4 years. My character was a bird. So I was like this parrot trapped in my cage, and I used to like eat the feathers off of my skin.
Next time Halloween rolls around and you visit a haunted attraction, watch out for sliders. They're lurking everywhere.